Hello, everybody. Let's talk about another beautiful story today. The story has been titled A Very Old Man with Enormous Wings, and it's been written by Gabriel Garcia Marquez, a Colombian novelist. Okay, let's get going. So, before we read, here are a few questions to answer. Whether you have ever visited a place to see something strange or unusual or none, or how do clever people take advantage of common people's gullibility? These questions have been given. So I think if you have ever visited a place to see anything strange or unusual, you were pretty excited, you were very curious, right, to know that thing. And you can also see that, yeah, if you see the second question, clever people usually take an advantage of the gullibility of naive ones, right? The story today we're discussing, a very old man with enormous wings, explores these like thematic traits. Okay, let's get ahead. About the writer, Gabriel Garcia Marquez, he was born in 1927 and he passed away in 2014. He's a Spanish American journalist, novelist, and a short story writer. He is best known for his novel 100 Years of Solitude that was published in 1967. And uh, the writer is best known for his tool of writing, magic realism. Okay, moving ahead. I want you to have an eye onto this slide. A very old man with enormous wings has been highlighted in this picture. The story is a magic realist story, and it examines the human response to those who are weak, dependent, and different. In particular, the story shows human nature related curiosity, greed, and cruelty. Let me repeat: curiosity, greed, and cruelty. Okay, moving ahead. The featuring characters in this story have been highlighted in his slide. Pelayo, he's a young man. Elisenda, his wife. A very old man with enormous wings. Father Gonzaga, and some other minor characters, the visitors. Okay. This magic realist story shows how people respond to an unusual phenomenon in the world with fear, doubt, and curiosity. Further, it satirizes human cruelty and indifference to the sufferings of others. Okay? I just want to give you a plain summary of the plot. Alright? It goes like this. On the third day of the rain, Pelayo goes out to throw away the crabs and comes back home because flood has come and the flood has brought muddy water, fish and crabs along with it. All of a sudden, he sees a very old man with enormous wings in his courtyard. In the backyard of his house, he happens to see an old man. He calls his wife to the side because he's afraid, and both of them look at the strange creature for a long time. They speak to him. He is a very old man with a bald head, and he's toothless, and he got a wrinkled face. He got deep blue eyes, and he keeps whining in pain because he's stuck in the mud. And of course, the old man looks like a castaway. In the meanwhile, there comes a neighborhood woman, and she makes a guess that he actually came to take Pelayo's newly born baby because, yeah, they have a newly born baby, and the newly born baby is having a feverish head. Okay, and the woman tells them that the old man could be a spirit, could be an angel that came to take their baby away. This frightens them. Pelayo and his wife, they really grow concerned, and they keep the old man locked inside the chicken coop. Moving ahead. Next day, as the rumor floats in the village, many people come there to watch this strange old man. So definitely they react with fear and wonderment, right? Some of them are very afraid. So, or some others really get surprised by his unique appearance. So, because he's a man with very large wings like that of a vulture. Along with this strange news, there comes Father Gonzaga, an important person, influential person in the village, because a spirit has come as the rumor goes. So he has to come there to make an observation and to tell the people what it exactly is. And Father Gonzaga approaches the old man. He talks to the old man in Latin, which is considered to be the language of God. However, the old man fails to understand what Father Gonzaga tells him. And so Father Gonzaga concludes that it is simply a carnival trick made by the devil, and the old man cannot be an angel, that is, a messenger of God. So he promises to write to the bishop, and on about the time the decision from the highest level comes, he tells Pelayo to keep the old man locked in his chicken coop. Okay? In the meantime, so the old man brings fortune to Pelayo's home, because many people begin to come there, like to look at the old man, and people make rumors about him being an angel or a spirit who could give them good luck. Okay, so people begin to flock, and yeah, the strange man is kept as a captive, and people entertain themselves by poking him, piercing him, and irritating him, sometimes throwing stones at him. So this shows both their curiosity, wonderment, and okay, of course, exploitation of the old man. All right. As time passes by, there is another carnival in the village. It is the traveling show of a ghoul who has been transformed into a spider. The people, therefore, get diverted, since they can ask all sorts of questions to the ghoul who has been changed into a spider. So as this new thing comes, the people begin to go. There is hardly anyone coming to Pelayo's house to look at the old man. As people stop coming there, the strange old man becomes a matter of irritation and burden at Pelayo's home. He simply keeps dragging himself here and there. Okay? Elisenda, who stays at home, gets really irritated and she keeps shouting at him. Right? Meantime, okay, days pass by, years pass by, right? Their newly born baby becomes a toddler now, and the baby begins to play with the old man, and their chicken coop almost collapses, and they cannot keep the old man locked inside it any longer. So the old man begins to drag himself hither and thither. During the winter time, the old man looks rather weak, and Pelayo and his wife, they think that he is going to die very soon. But he doesn't. He comes, the seasonal changes, and new feathers begin to come onto him, and nasty wind that is in his body gets healed. It's very fortunate for the old man. Nevertheless, right, Pelayo and his wife, so they get rather irritated and take him as simply as a burden. But before they take anything bad, so they do anything bad to the old man gathers his lost confidence, and he makes some efforts to fly and finally succeeds. And he makes his final departure. Okay? This is the overall plot of this story. Now, a very short interpretation here. Evidently, Marquis's character, the old man with enormous wings in this story, is out of the possibility in this world. Such like magical things do not happen at all. But the villagers' responses to this character are very close to reality. Yeah, of course. Even in our locality, if we happen to see anything unusual, very strange, first of all, we react to that thing with fear. After that, maybe curiosity. And again, we might get rather greedy. So we feel like taking advantage of that thing. So, the ill treatment of the old man in this story shows the cruelty, hostility, and the inhumanity of all humankind. Therefore, Marquis's story is very powerful. This is very meaningful. Okay, moving ahead. The theme of this story, of course, we have to highlight the human curiosity. How curious people become whenever they come across something very strange, and whether they try to take an advantage of that thing or not, whether they become greedy or not, right? That is the second point. And the third point is the way they ill treat or they keep that thing as a captive in the captivity and exploit that thing or not. If we see in this story, all these three ideas have been beautifully imparted by the story writer. The people flock to Pelayo's door because they are very curious. They want to predict things about the old man. They make different guesses. Some of them calling him a devil, others calling him a messenger of God. Okay, they're very curious to know things about him. Pelayo and his wife are very greedy. They make money by keeping the man in captivity. Okay, and there are some visitors, many visitors in fact, who poke him, pierce him, okay, who throw stones at him. They exploit and they ill treat the old man. And that's what human cruelty. Okay. So this story is remarkable also for its use of magic realism. Magic realism is a style of writing in which the writers represent the imposed things as though they are commonplace, day-to-day like, and possible things as though they were wonders. So just a kind of intermingling, distortion of reality and magic is what happens in magical realism or magic realism. So Marquis uses this technique or tool of writing in this story too. So the description of the old man is fantastic, and an old man with enormous wings is something magical. But the way people ill treat him, the way people take an advantage of him, right? So are very close to our real life situations. This way, the story writer has developed a very interesting and important meaning in this story. I believe you have understood it very well. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful time ahead.